Good morning, motor cars. It is Friday, November 10th, and I'm looking forward to next week's BDC potluck, where everybody's going to bring in goodies, and I'm going to probably gain a couple more pounds in preparation and training for Thanksgiving weekend, and then have to sweat through getting rid of all of it by doing my 10,000 steps every day and drinking that really nasty Soylent drink. I'm afraid I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries this weekend. My mail's not working properly, but as soon as I do get those, I will post them in the comments. So happy birthday and happy anniversary to anybody that I've missed. I'd like to chat a little bit about some things that have popped up in the news this week and some thoughts I've had in regard to that. I don't think it's any secret to anybody that our world is changing. Customers are more reluctant to come in for recalls and Toyota Care, even though they're both free. And if you can't get customers to do business with you when it doesn't even cost them anything, imagine how difficult it is to do when they have to pay. As a result, we've started to schedule some of these services as house calls, because if the mountain won't come to you, it's time to get your shoes on and go chase it. We're even expanding our Saturday service hours to be more convenient, but that's just the tip of the competitive iceberg. Uber and NASA announced this week that they're developing flying driverless taxis. They expect them to be available in 10 years, but competition will probably drive that number down. Think about that. Flying robot taxis. If that's an option, why own a car at all? Especially when that means no car payment, no insurance, and no oil changes. Just climb in and binge watch Stranger Things Season 11 all the way to work. Let's look at an even bigger picture. If you have robot cars, even ones that don't fly, you don't need truck drivers anymore. And if all cars go driverless, which is going to happen at some point, you don't need traffic cops either. Or mail carriers, UPS drivers, FedEx drivers, pizza guys, limo drivers, ship captains, airline pilots, railroad engineers, couriers, or anyone else involved in the transportation industry. That's a lot of people out of work and a lot less cars on the road. So how do we deal with that? In the short term, Honda and Toyota are working on driverless vehicles too. In fact, Toyota has spent more than $1 billion on it, and Honda expects to have fully autonomous cars in just 8 years. Folks my age and older will probably keep buying cars until we can't drive anymore. We'll just buy robot cars, which will make driving safer than it's ever been. Lower insurance costs and fewer accidents are a good thing. Everyone who wants it will have their own full-time designated driver. All of those cars will still need service even if they don't need a driver. There will just be fewer cars, probably fewer dealerships, and probably fewer brands as well. As a matter of fact, Waymo just signed an agreement with AutoNation to service all of their self-driving cars. Waymo, in case you didn't remember, is owned by Alphabet, the same company that owns Google, and AutoNation has more than 300 stores. Those are our true competitors, companies of that scale, not other dealerships and not the corner quickie lube. And as a market shrinks, regardless of what industry you're talking about, there are two things that survival requires. The first, find out where customers are going and beat them there. The second, diversify. Regarding that, donuts were invented in 1847. The last time I checked, people still like them. They want the cars that they ride in to be clean, no matter whether it's a human being or a robot who's driving. And organizations still need to advertise, even if it's via one-to-one social media, and someone still has to program all these robots. So we are diversifying. That's great. Kodak and Polaroid used to be blue-chip stocks, two of the most powerful companies in the world. They did neither of those things. And when was the last time you saw a Polaroid camera? Banks worldwide right now are fighting Bitcoin tooth and nail because they know that digital currency without fees will put them all out of business, no matter how big they are, no matter how much money they have right now. As an example of that, 7 years ago, 1 Bitcoin was worth 1/100th of 1 cent. And I checked today, and a single Bitcoin is currently worth $7,183.99, and it's only going to go up. Why? Because Bitcoin is more convenient for the customer, and that's why banks are going to go away with all their fees and all their limited hours and everything else that they do that customers don't like. The other thing we need to be mindful of, as we've seen recently in the news, one bad experience instantly becomes public knowledge today. And everyone who has a bad experience connects until negative public opinion, which is the story that everyone believes, drowns out due process and our voice. Our future is pretty simple. Figure out what the customers want and give it to them before somebody else beats us to the punch. To do that, we have to watch what our customers do and what they don't do, because people lie, but actions don't. We have to watch what all of our competitors do, not the little guys, the big guys, and learn everything we can about where our customers are headed and be adaptable enough to beat them there. We also have to treat every single customer as if they're our only customer. Because if we don't, Amazon, Apple, and Google absolutely will. Have a good weekend, Motor Cars.